What is up, YouTube? It is your boy MLB Sports here, coming back at you with another MLB video, and today we're going to be talking about 5 offensive players that I think will be moved before the MLB trade deadline this season, and where I think they're going to land. If you enjoy this type of MLB content, don't forget to hit the like button down below, help it reach as many baseball fans as possible, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily MLB content. And let me know down in the comments if you think I'm spot on with these, if you think they will get moved, if you think they won't get moved. If you don't like the team I predict them to, if you do, let me know in the comments. I love talking baseball with you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the video and start talking about the number 5 MLB trade deadline candidate. And we're going to be starting it off with Oakland A's center fielder Ramon Loriano and where I think he's going to go. Ramon Loriano obviously started the season suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. He got suspended last season and it carried over into this one. But he has come back and he might not have been phenomenal offensively to start his return, but defensively he's been fantastic, and there's no other team that needs defensive help in the outfield more than the Philadelphia Phillies. I think Ramon Loriano is a great fit for the Phillies. As you can see here, currently he is in the 78th percentile in outs above average in the outfield. He's 90th percentile in outfielder jump. He also has one of the best arms in the entire league. He just absolutely guns runners out from that center field position. And the Phillies really can't find a good center fielder. They haven't been able to find it in their system, so I think they're going to be looking out of their system to try to find a different one. And obviously the Oakland A's are one of the more active teams when it comes trade deadline. We've seen them make lots of moves every single year, it feels like, and I think this year Ramon Loriano could be a great fit for the Philadelphia Phillies. He has been okay this season offensively, a little bit above average. Currently, he is a 108 WRC+, so a little bit better than league average offensively. But when it comes to a team like the Phillies, I don't think they need that help offensively. He would be a strictly defensive first center fielder, and any offensive production you could get from him, that will just come second. They obviously have a lot of offensive studs like Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, you name it. Even Bryson Stott's starting to come around right now. So I think he'd be a great fit for the Phillies and help them get that defense up. I think they have the second fewest defensive runs saved in the MLB at the moment. But yeah, I think he would be a great fit for this Phillies team. This is honestly my favorite fit on this list and why I think Ramon Loriano is a lock to get moved at the trade deadline. It's just a perfect fit. Next up, we got a little bit of a riskier trade deadline acquisition, and that is Brandon Drury. Now, Brandon Drury has bounced around a lot in his major league career. Never really found a home and never really has been elite offensively or defensively per se, but he has had a very, very good start to this season. Obviously, he's playing in Cincinnati, so Cincinnati is going to be one of the sellers at the trade deadline with how bad of a start they got off to this season. But Brandon Drury as a whole has been fantastic, and he's played a lot of different infield positions. You can slot him in at second base, third base, first base. I don't think he's played much shortstop, but you could probably put him there if you really need to. So it's definitely going to go to a team that needs a third baseman or a second baseman, and that could be one of 3 teams. I couldn't really decide on one solid one for Brandon Drury. It is a little bit riskier of a signing or riskier of a trade piece. I'm not sure what you would offer for this guy or what kind of haul he's going to bring back, but 3 teams I think should be very interested in Brandon Drury. That is the Toronto Blue Jays. They've had some very rough offense when it comes to third base and second base this season. They haven't really been able to find a guy. Obviously Matt Chapman defensively has been great, but offensively has left a little bit to be desired. And then of course Kevin Biggio, Santiago Espinal. Santiago Espinal has been pretty damn solid so far this season. But overall, man, I think Brandon Drury would be very, very helpful to this Toronto Blue Jays infield. Next up would be the Los Angeles Dodgers. They actually are, I think, the bottom 10 in the league when it comes to third base WRC plus as a whole. And I think Brandon Drury could really help them offensively. Justin Turner's having a very, very rough season. And outside of that, Brandon Drury could help fill in the gap a little bit and could play some second base as well when Max Muncy needs a day off. And then the third team, my own Los Angeles Angels, man. The Angels need help in the middle infield, and they really can't seem to figure it out between Andrew Velasquez, Tyler Wade, Luis Rengifo, David Fletcher. We got our boy, I can't remember that dude's name, Stefanik in the minor leagues as well. We have like 5 guys we could slot in that second base spot, but none of them are above average offensively. And so far this year, Brandon Drury is tearing the cover off the baseball. So I think he'd be a good trade deadline acquisition to fill that second base spot. There aren't really a whole lot of elite second baseman out there on the trade market, so Brandon Drury I think would be a good one to fill in. There was a rumor that Xander Bogaerts might be available. I don't think that's true. I think the Red Sox, they're currently in a wild card spot. I think they're going to be more competitive. I don't think Xander Bogaerts is going anywhere anytime soon. Next up, we've got the first of 2 first basemen on this list, and that is Josh Bell of the Washington Nationals. Obviously, the Washington Nationals are not going anywhere anytime soon, and Josh Bell hits the free agent market this offseason. So Josh Bell, I think, is a very tempting trade candidate, and there's 2 teams that I think are going to be competitive that really need some first base help right now. The first is the Boston Red Sox, and the second is the Houston Astros. Now, the Boston Red Sox, their problem is that they have Bobby Dalbec, and Bobby Dalbec is a young stud prospect with a great power tool, but he just hasn't been able to get it together offensively. He was pretty good in the postseason for them last year, but I really think they could use a solid veteran like Josh Bell. Obviously, last season they traded with the Nationals, same trade partner, for Kyle Schwarber, and he really helped them in the postseason and to get to the postseason anyways. So I think Josh Bell would be a great candidate to go in and help Boston, at least in the short term. I don't think they'd sign him to extension, so kind of like a same idea as the Kyle Schwarber trade last year, just with Josh Bell. And the Houston Astros surprisingly have had the lowest WRC plus among first basemen in the league this season. They have just not had any good production from first base. Yuli Gurriel's been struggling and has been hurt a little bit this season, and they don't really have another guy there at first base. So I think Josh Bell could be a very useful guy out there, and then maybe DH on a day that Yordan Alvarez needs the day off, possibly, or Yordan can play left field, because left field in Houston's a pretty easy task with that short wall out there, not a whole lot of ground to cover. So who knows? And Josh Bell has played the outfield before, so Josh Bell could maybe slot into left field when they need him to, or maybe play some first base. He could be all over the place. I think he'd be a good fit for either one of those teams right now, though, with a dark horse being the Milwaukee Brewers as well. The Milwaukee Brewers definitely need some offensive help. I know they do have Rowdy Tellez out there, but I think Josh Bell would be a great bat, a great power bat to have on that team as well. Next up, we've got a crafty veteran in Nelson Cruz. It feels like this man is just always a talk of the town when it comes to trade deadline, and there's a couple of teams that could actually use a DH. Obviously, Nelson Cruz isn't going anywhere in the field right now, but as a DH, he could definitely help a couple of teams. One place I really like Nelson Cruz is actually the San Diego Padres. Now, they do have a DH, a pretty much an everyday DH in Luke Voit, but he has not been as advertised, not the player they thought they were trading for when they traded with the Yankees this offseason. And I think Nelson Cruz would be a great fit, a nice veteran bat for that young team there. Obviously, Manny Machado is kind of the veteran in that clubhouse right now. Machado, I guess Hosmer and Will Myers would be considered the veterans of that team. But I think Nelson Cruz would be a great fit for this offense overall. And yeah, just get a little another power bat in there. Obviously, they're getting Tatis back. That's going to be helpful. But I think Nelson Cruz would really round out this lineup. It kind of felt like they wanted to bring a veteran in when they got Robinson Cano. They signed him. He's in the minor leagues with them right now. But I think Nelson Cruz would be a much better fit than Robinson Cano was. Now, I don't know why I said 5 in the intro. I definitely have 6 picks, so this is going to be the 6th free agent or trade deadline acquisitions I think will be moved before the trade deadline. And next up is the Orioles first baseman, Trey Mancini. Now, Trey Mancini has been tearing the cover off the baseball. I've always been a big Trey Mancini guy, and it feels weird to think of him in another uniform. He's such a Baltimore guy. He obviously went through his cancer treatments and stuff as an Oriole, so I feel like we all just kind of link him as an Oriole for life. But unfortunately, the Orioles are not very good, and he is set to become a free agent this offseason, so I would not be surprised, assuming they don't ink him to an extension anytime soon, if he does get moved this offseason. And kind of exactly what I said with Josh Bell, I think those same 3 teams are going to apply to Trey Mancini as well. I would probably put the Red Sox as the favorite for Josh Bell, but I'd say the Astros would probably be the favorite for a guy like Trey Mancini. They could use a little bit more pop in that lineup. I know it's hard to say because of of how freaking amazing their offense is already with Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker and all that out there. But Trey Mancini, I think, would be a very good fit for that Astros team. But I would absolutely, let me say this. The Astros is not the team I want him on. I just think they're the team that would go out and get him. The team I want him on, the Milwaukee Brewers, man. There is no better fit for Trey Mancini than the Milwaukee Brewers, man. I want him on the Brewers. He would be such a good power bat in that lineup. And honestly, the lineup, a fully healthy Brewers team, adding Trey Mancini in the lineup would be at least average offensively. Right now, they are well below average, in my opinion, but Trey Mancini would at least make them an average MLB lineup. They're kind of the opposite of my Angels, where they have a terrible offense and one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. I'm jealous. I'm jealous because bats are easy to come by. Arms are not easy to come by. But I think Trey Mancini would be a great fit for that Milwaukee Brewers team. And hopefully they actually go out and make a move like they completely neglected to do this offseason. And last but not least, we have Willson Contreras of the Chicago Cubs. Now, this man has been tearing the cover off the ball this season. I feel like I said that about every guy, but it's true. It's extremely true when it comes to Willson Contreras. This guy's been one of the best hitters in all of baseball. And when I was doing research for this video, I kind of put my criteria as of all these teams that are already out of the postseason, in our minds at least. And among those players on bad teams right now, he has the highest WRC plus of any of them, including higher than Juan Soto, which is kind of impressive. Willson Contreras, one of the best catchers in baseball, easily top 5, probably top 3. I honestly couldn't tell you who I think is better than him at the moment, but one team that I think has a hole at catcher, that they just sent down their supposed franchise catcher that they drafted a few years back. They were traded with the Cubs last offseason for one of their franchise players. I could see them doing it again this offseason, and that is the San Francisco Giants. The San Francisco Giants do have a trade history with the Cubs. Obviously, we know last year they traded for Chris Bryant. I think Willson Contreras would be a great fit for them. They obviously just had Buster Posey leave, so they do have a big hole at catcher, and Joey Bart was not getting it done. He had the highest strikeout percentage in all of Major League Baseball, and Willson Contreras does not strike out a ton. He's not he still strikes out, but he's not, striking out 50% of the time like Joey Bart was. So I think Willson Contreras would be a great fit for the San Francisco Giants and help them make that final push to hopefully retake the NL West like they did last season. And I do think they're missing a little bit offensively to get that done right now. Let me know what you guys think of my picks in the comment section down below. Do you think these guys will get moved or won't get moved? Do you think they're going to get moved to another team? Do you like my picks? Do you hate my picks? I want to know it all. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Help it reach as many baseball fans as possible. Let me know who you think your team is going to trade for, or who you want your team to trade for, down in the comment section as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more daily Major League Baseball content, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. Thanks again so much for watching. Be on the lookout for part 2, where we talk about relief pitchers and starting pitchers that I think will be available this trade deadline. Thanks again so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.